What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are going to be making more progress on the S13 today, but before I get started, we gotta do a little bit of work, and we've got a Kabuki Tech aero mirror order to ship out. So in case you guys didn't know, we are the Canadian distributor of Kabuki Tech aero mirrors, and if you haven't seen these, or you've been living under a rock or something, these are basically aero mirrors, super high quality, manufactured regularly today, cast aluminum bases, carbon resin mirror housing, and it even has convex blue mirrors, as well as all of them are motorized. Yeah, if you guys are looking for the mirrors, again, head over to our website, akitire.com. Reach out to us, Go Aki or Aki Tire, and you'll be able to see what mirrors we have in stock. We try to keep the popular ones in stock, so all the S chassis. We do have more on the way. Anything that we don't have, it typically takes us a little bit over a week to get them in from Japan. So if you guys are in Canada and you're looking for Kabuki Tech aero mirrors, we're actually offering free shipping Canada-wide. So there's no reason not to get these mirrors. So let's get this S13 set packed, and we'll ship those out. I believe it's going to Manitoba or something. So yeah, I'm gonna put a little bit more protection inside, like bubble wrap and stuff, and we'll get these packed up, and then we'll start working on the S13. Let's do it. Alright, so now that we got that package packed, we can get on to working on the S13. And what we're going to be doing in today's video is we are going to be finishing the AC system. So if you had been watching previous videos where I went to go hook up the AC, I discovered that I was using an S13 KA compressor with S13 AC lines, which won't match up because the lines or the ports on the compressor are a different size. So I ended up having to clean up my S13 AC compressor, and I went to go put that on, and that wouldn't go on either. So previously, the S14 KA compressor, it was able to bolt to my red top AC bracket using 2 bolts, and I'd run it like that before on the Cookie, and so I thought it was all the same. But after cleaning the S13 KA compressor, I went to go put it on, and obviously it didn't line up. So we hit a snag there, and I ended up ordering a adapter bracket and it finally came, which is this kit right here. If you've been around the S chassis scene for a while, if you were ever on Zilvia forums, which was like the prime time back then, you should know the name CodyAce AC brackets, and that is what I got here. This looks like an updated version of the bracket. So yeah, they supply a belt for you, and you basically just have to figure out what compressor you're using and what SR20 AC bracket you have. So I have this one out here on the table just for reference. This is the same bracket that I have on the engine, which should be S13 red top, but I think it also matches with maybe S14. Anyways, so that's what we're going to be doing. We are going to be putting the right AC compressor on, and hopefully the lines will hook up at that point. And then the AC system should be closed and finished. And then once the car is running, then we'll obviously vacuum the system and hopefully charge it, and there will be no leaks. But yeah, so we're just gonna jump right into it. I have the old belt on here still from last time when I pulled the compressor off, so I need to take that belt off and just start adapting this bracket. So just to show you roughly how this works, it's pretty simple. I believe this updated version only uses 3 bolts, or 3 of the mounting holes. So I think it goes something like this or like this. I'm gonna have to look at the instructions, but basically if you look at this pattern here, obviously it doesn't match up with this bracket here. So I believe this bolts on to here. You do have to grind these nubs off, I think. That way you can bolt these 2 holes like this, and then a spacer over here for the top hole, and I think this is unused. So I'm gonna double check the instructions and get started, and hopefully by the end of this video we will have a closed complete AC system. And then also, just to keep progress going, I'm also gonna throw in our drive shaft, which is the one that came on the car. It is a steel Driveshaft Shop drive shaft. So it's one piece. I'm gonna throw it in. It'll check off another thing from getting the S13 done. So yeah, let's jump into the AC bracket. Alright, so we got the belt off, and the first thing we're going to do now is we are going to take off this AC bracket. It's just these 4 bolts that are 14 millimeters. So let's pull those off, and then we'll be able to grind the nubs down on the bracket. So let's get this off. got the bracket off, and basically this is how the adapter works. So these two holes right here, they're gonna get bolted to the AC bracket. But if you look, if you can see inside these holes here, you probably can't, but it's slightly off. So we need to shave these nubs down slightly so that the holes can line up better. So let's do that, and then we'll move on to the next steps. Alright, so we managed to shave down these nubs a bit. It doesn't need much, so I'm going to see here, see if it lines up. So this bolt is going to bolt into here. This one should bolt into, okay, so this one is for here. One's there, this one's here. So basically the way this works is, let's see if we can focus. So the way this works is this bracket bolts to these two holes, but this bolt is going to go through the compressor first. So it'll go on like this. So I'm just going to mock this up. Alright, so those two bottom holes are basically bolted on. And then if I show you here, I show you the top here. You can see that there's a gap here. So that's what this little spacer is for. That goes in there. And then the bolt goes through. And just like that, the compressor is bolted to the AC bracket. So this is again an S13 KA compressor bolted to SR20DET S13 AC bracket. So it doesn't use this hole, it uses 3 out of 4. So this was just a mock-up, so I'm going to pull this apart and we'll assemble this on the car. So now that we've got the factory SR20 AC bracket back on, we can go ahead and put on our adapter. Just gonna bolt in with this one bolt here. All right, now the AC compressor. Looks like you should slip in the top bolt first into the compressor before bolting it up. So let's fix that. All right, so we've got that top bolt slipped in now, and then we can bolt this back into place. Okay, so now we've got these back in, and that top bolt is slid through the hole of the AC compressor. You can't really see it on camera, but like I showed on the table, we just have to slip in this little spacer and then tighten up that top bolt. All right, so AC compressor is in. If you can see the little spacer, so right there, that is in and the bolt is threaded in. I just have to go up top or lower the car, and then I can tighten that back down. And then I'll just go over all the bolts to tighten the compressor, and then we should be able to put the belt on. But before we do that, before we lower the car down, we should put in the drive shaft, so we can at least check that off the list. So let's get the drive shaft in. All right, so drive shaft is in. There was a little heart-stopping moment when I went to go tighten the bolts and the drive shaft wasn't spinning. That did scare me for a second, and then I thought about it and realized transmission might be in gear, which it was, and luckily took it out of gear and it spins fine. So we got the drive shaft in and we can lower the car now and finish up the AC adapter bracket. So let's do it. All right, so here we can see this is the top bolt where I put that spacer in. So all we have to do now is tighten this bolt up. And that's it. The S13 KA AC compressor is now mounted onto the SR bracket. All right, so now we can throw on the belt that comes with the kit. This is the part number right here for the belt. And yeah, so I believe because the adapter spaces the compressor out, you'll need a longer belt. So let's get the belt on. And then we can put our power steering belt back over that. And then we'll just tension everything back up. All right, so got the AC lines on, they're bolted up, so that's good. AC compressor's on and all the belts, power steering, AC belts are tight, and I ended up flipping the power steering line here. There was a 45 here and then 90 going into the pump, but I flipped it so now it's a 45 going into the pump and a 90 at the reservoir here. seems to just lay out better. Also moved this high pressure line over so that it's clear from the AC lines. And now we just have to hook up the dash 10 back up to the pump. So like I showed in the oil cooler video, there is this stainless steel filter that I put in the inlet into the oil cooler. So I'm going to do the same thing here for the power steering, and it'll just keep out any debris that might get into the fluid, because so basically the stock power steering reservoir, it would have had a filter in there, but since I cut off the ends of that and adapted dash 10 and dash 6 fittings onto it, that filter is no longer in the reservoir, so we will just filter at the pump here. So I'll get this tightened up and then show you everything. Alright, so we've got the power steering lines hooked back up, the AC lines are on, and we're getting closer to being done. So before I just leave these lines like this, I want to make sure that we do still have space for this elbow here, depending on how we clock the turbo. So I think this works out pretty good. This will clear the power steering lines. It'll give us kind of like a straight shot over here to go through the tub to go to the intercooler, and then we still have space for our intake. I probably have to move this over a little bit like this so that it clears this fitting here, and then it's still pointed properly for our downpipe to exit. So it'll be something like this, but we're going to tackle that in another video. I just wanted to double check that these lines are good the way they are, and then we can move on. Alright, so that's pretty much it. The AC compressor is on. Thanks to the CodyAce AC bracket that we got in. And the lines are hooked up. If you can see, right there, lines are hooked up. So all the accessories, belt tensions have been set, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to lower this down so we can take a look. Okay, so you can see here the AC compressor is on. All the lines are hooked up to it. I redid the power steering lines, or I just changed the routing of them. And yeah, I would say that the AC is now complete, and we can move on to other things. There we go. AC is hooked up fully. We just need a vacuum and a recharge, and hopefully everything will be working good once the car is running, and we'll have nice cold AC, because again, this is first a street car, so I want it to be comfortable and enjoyable. And then, I mean, if your drift car has AC, that's also a flex. So yeah, AC compressor is on. Lines are hooked up, power steering lines. Now that we've got more stuff in here, I've got those more permanently set. All the accessories have now been tightened because the AC compressor was the last thing to finalize. And yeah, we've got the drive shaft in, and that's basically going to be it for this video. I didn't want it to be too long, but there is going to be way more progress. We're getting very close. It's a lot of little things that's coming up next. So yeah, hopefully you guys like this video. If you do, make sure you click the like button and maybe comment down in the comment section, what do you guys think? Do you like seeing all this little stuff, or should I kind of just button up all the little stuff off camera and save more of the big stuff to make a video? Yeah, if you're not subscribed, make sure you click subscribe. And we've got a few more things to do, and hopefully in the next few videos we will see this car starting up. But again, we have a lot of little things to do. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next one.